as her whispered words brushed against my ear. Not here. Sit in the guest section. A part of me cracked. A sliver of my heart fractured silently. I stood there, frozen, bouquet trembling in my hands, gazing at the woman who was supposed to be my bride. Ava. She turned from me effortlessly, her attention now fixed on him, her former lover. A smile played on her lips, brittle and gleaming like broken glass. As she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, it was a familiar gesture, one I recognized instantly. Her way of composing herself when she was fraying inside. "This seat suits you better," she cooed sweetly, her voice veiled in venom. He smirked, knowingly, as if they shared a joke the rest of us weren't invited to understand. With practiced ease, he slid into the seat beside her, his presence far too familiar, too confident, like I was the stranger at my own wedding. Her relatives exchanged hushed laughter, sipping on the sour amusement of a cruel inside joke. My family sat in stunned silence, some perhaps grasping the reality, others simply paralyzed by the shock. I stood there, stiff in my suit, gripping the bouquet I would never give to her. My fingers ached, clenched so tight I nearly crushed the flowers, but I inhaled slowly, raised my chin, adjusted my coat, and said evenly, "Go ahead." They thought I'd crumble, humiliated, exit quietly, a footnote in their twisted spectacle. But they didn't know me, not yet. I first met Ava 3 years ago at a cafe on 3rd Avenue. She dropped her phone. I picked it up. A quick smile, a short conversation. It turned into a first date, then a weekend, then the beginnings of a life shared. My love for her was deep, unwavering, the kind of love that blinds you to red flags, that silences your own doubts because the illusion feels too beautiful to break. Ava was striking, magnetic, but more than her beauty, it was the way she made me feel seen that hooked me. It felt like recognition, as if someone finally understood the quiet spaces inside me. That, I later realized with bitter clarity, was the cruelest deception of all, the illusion of being understood. She claimed she craved loyalty, honesty. "You're not like the others," she'd whisper against my skin, feigning tears over the exes who had shattered her heart. They lied, they used me, and I believed her. I believed I was different, that I could be the safe harbor in her storm. But the first shadow crept in 2 months before the wedding. She came home late, the lipstick she wore smudged in a shade she hadn't put on that morning. She told me she'd been with her cousin. Ironically, that same cousin had called me earlier, wondering if Ava was with me. I said nothing that night. I didn't accuse. I watched, and over time, the signs piled up. Her phone always face down. Notifications were silenced, messages dismissed with the same vague excuses, rehearsed lines delivered too smoothly. Then there was Lucas, her ex, wealthy, charming, the same man she once accused of cheating with her best friend, the one who, according to her, had left her broken. I became quiet, cold, calculating. I didn't ask her questions anymore. I sought answers. I hired a private investigator, not because I needed confirmation, but because I required undeniable evidence. Within days, the truth came in fragments, photos of dimly lit dinners, hotel receipts, the same car showing up again and again. In 2 weeks, I had audio, her laughter, her voice tangled with his, mocking me, conspiring. 3 weeks in, I had the entire picture. The wedding wasn't a promise, it was a stage, a spectacle in which I was the willing fool, paraded and discarded. For the more dazzling option, her family savored it like theater. Mine, ever trusting, had only hoped for my happiness, blind to the cruel farce unfolding. But I didn't unravel. I planned. I told her I wanted no barriers between us. So I voided the prenuptial agreement. She beamed with pride, mistaking it for surrender. While she celebrated her perceived victory, I moved my savings to a hidden account, sold the apartment we were meant to share, and purchased another under my sister's name. I contacted the venue, made subtle but crucial changes, replaced the officiant with someone I trusted, swapped the video crew for my own team, and adjusted the ceremony script just one pivotal line. Then I waited. So when she leaned in and delivered her cruel instruction to sit away from her, she had no idea that her stage had already been rewired. I stepped aside, allowed her performance to continue. I watched Lucas soak up the spotlight, his arm draped around her possessively. They believed they'd won. Their families smiled, giddy on deception. And then the officiant cleared his throat. Before we continue with the vows, he announced the groom has prepared a short video, a tribute to love and to truth. The lights dimmed. The screen came alive. Ava's smile faded before the first frame ended. Footage appeared, her with Lucas, time-stamped, dated just 2 weeks ago. Their laughter, her voice. He actually believes I love him. The room gasped, one clip after another, undeniable. Her lips on his, hotel entrances, their faces caught. In candid betrayal, audio rolled in recordings from hidden devices. We'll pull it off. He won't see it coming. Laughter, mockery. The final clip sealed the moment. A dimly lit room. Her voice when he tries to sit beside me. I'll wave him off. You take his place. He'll just stand there pitiful. It'll be perfect. The screen went black. The room felt like a vacuum. Breathless, the silence roared louder than any words. I walked forward. Unshaken, bouquet discarded, stopped in front of Ava. Her eyes brimmed with disbelief, glossed over with fear. I told you to go ahead, I said softly, echoing her own whisper. Now it's my turn. I turned to Lucas. You enjoy taking what doesn't belong to you, don't you? I said. He puffed his chest. She was never yours. This was always going to happen. I nodded. Maybe so. From my coat, I withdrew an envelope. Inside were annulment papers, already signed, legally voiding any tie between us. Ava stared, stunned, her mouth parted but no sound emerging. I handed a second envelope to Lucas, an official lawsuit for trespassing on private property during a contracted event. The venue, unbeknownst to them, had been placed solely in my name the night before. Legal documents had been filed. My lawyer will be in touch, I said, turning away. And your car? I added over my shoulder. It's been impounded. I faced the crowd, my voice even. You came here for a wedding. Instead, you've seen the truth. I paused, letting the weight of my words fall. To my family, thank you for believing in me. To hers, you raised a betrayer. Finally, I turned to Ava, stepped closer, bent down until my voice was once again a whisper. You could have had everything. You chose instead to humiliate me. Now you stand exposed. She tried to speak, but the words died in her throat. Her power, her illusion, her show shattered. I walked down the aisle alone, the whispers behind me dissolving into stunned silence. On the screen, the video played. Again on loop, her laughter, his voice, their betrayal. Months passed. Ava reached out once, through a mutual acquaintance, claimed she had made a mistake, that she missed me. I didn't respond. Lucas lost a major client when the footage leaked. Investors withdrew. Scandals aren't good for business. And me, I sleep easier now. There's a quiet comfort in knowing you've pulled the knife from your own back and used it to carve truth from illusion. Revenge doesn't need to scream. It only needs to be sharp, calculated, and precise. Justice is the reward.